check up on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. And I'm fine as hell from my head down to my nails. My man tripping cause I got enough.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Mexico City team as they enter play here. They've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You've still got to go out and earn it every week.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
No question at all about his talent, and that's been on display since his first game as a starter at Florida State. On a Monday night, the whole country watching, he only missed 2 passes in the entire game and led his team to a big victory and later a national championship as a freshman.
Ready? Louis! Stop your whining. Let's go.
A first down throw for Winston. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Here's Winston. And this is going to be incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And that'll make it third down. A look now at the Oakland offense.
And the play of this offensive line is going to be so important in this game because we saw the sack a minute or so ago. They've got to be able to give their guy time to throw. That means communication and being physical is vital. Otherwise, this could be a long game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jameis to throw it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller doing what he does best with a sack. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays.
Yeah.
They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Ready up. 50, Mike, 50. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
Mendoza off the play fake. Benjamin's got it. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll try and run for the first time with Freeman. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Set 10 Lobo. Get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
Now. On the ground, McCaffrey. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the 1st half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Devondre Campbell flies in to blow that play up.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play, as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Mendoza steps away to his left. He may try and run for this. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively. And it's caught. Touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk, his 19th touchdown now on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's good to make it 7-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. To throw is Winston. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Von Miller in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. 3rd and long for Winston. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. With it is Brown. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
That good for 22 and a 1st down. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
With it, 18 Gator. Let's go deep, tighten up. Let's go deep, tighten up. Deep grip, deep grip.
Mendoza now. Throwing on 1st down. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down. A look there at how the Raiders will start defensively. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and they're just better than 50% of them at defending the pass, number 16 in the league.
Yeah, this has been a good defense, but they're going to have to really prove it in this one because guess what? They're facing the number 1 passing offense in the NFL. It's definitely a prove-it day for them.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Freeman. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
50, plant. Ready.
Back to throw. Mendoza. And it's caught. Touchdown. Julian Edelman. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drive, 4 plays. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And a look now at the game so far for Jameis Winston. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? Shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much. Not if you...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. To throw, Winston. And he's going to go down again. Demario Davis, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And instead, they want to throw it off play action. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Demario Davis in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Now Brown. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So back-to-back games here of great production and just, you know, his cuts. They're so quick last week and this week.
That comes from confidence, I think. He understands what the defense is trying to do, but I think he has so much belief in his offensive line that he's just saying the block's going to be there. I'm not worried about it. And we saw that last week. In fact, they were so good last week on the flight home. I actually plugged in the game and watched the offensive line play one more time. I was so impressed by them, and they're carrying it over to this week. And, of course, when you got a big-time runner behind them, that's a pretty good combination.
Doesn't hurt. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 24 carries, 120 yards even.
And a rushing title's definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there, but they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their expense.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave them with a third down.
That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 3.
A dime look defensively for the Raiders on 3rd down.
Yeah, you're right. 2 extra DBs out there. And here's Mendoza operating from the gun. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Now Lutz for the field goal try. This from 54 yards away. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. This offense converted once already in this first quarter. They're going to try it again here on 4th down. Now Mendoza throwing on 4th down. He gets it to Brown, complete. A big pickup there, 20 yards as they convert on 4th.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man, maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Here we go, set, 30 base. 50. Switch. Get it.
To throw is Mendoza. Off play action. And this is caught. It's Edelman. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Mendoza. The quick slant caught. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk with touchdown number 20 on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good. That is as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Yeah, well done indeed. Tremendous execution.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it is now 21-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run.
Set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Exit, exit.
They'll start the drive with a give to White. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Winston. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really, really turning in an incredible performance.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Ready? Black 22. I got you, Pop. Watch 14. 3-3. Let's go.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And it's a touchdown. That pick 6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the 2nd half.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Winston. Goes underneath here to White. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. From the 38, Winston looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and he will score. It's a touchdown. This game really becoming a one-sided affair. Pick six there. It's in danger of being over before halftime.
And that's going to be a major league test for both of these teams because, look, you feel like you've got this thing locked up, right? But on the other side, in the other locker room, it's going to be a test of pride now. Forget speeches, forget adjustments. What kind of pride do they have to start the second half?
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there, it's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Winston, and that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. The Raiders on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Winston now. It's caught. This is White. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. This is brought in at the 21. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And possession, Charles. 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team. Keep your offense moving at a really high level. And it's also how you establish leadership by playing that well. 3 touchdown passes. That's the way to lead.
Now he's just hoping for number 4. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On the double. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Another run, this time McCaffrey. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Mendoza from the gun, he'll throw. And he'll find Lastly there. It's complete. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
Come on, set. 18 Gator. Let's go, D. Ready.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Completes it to Benjamin. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. McCaffrey with a first down and more. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Taking it in from the 20 as his guys continue to pour it on.
I can't help it, partner. I love backs who have a lot of burst.
Yeah, they ran the toss play. By the way, sometimes you'll hear toss and pitch used interchangeably, but that was the toss.
Well, for me, a toss, quarterback takes the snap, turns around, tosses it to
like
the tailback.
Like an egg underhand.
Yeah, like an egg underhand, really with 2 hands. And a pitch, usually like you're running an option-type play, and you pitch it out there to the trailing back.
Goes end over end like a field goal.
Yeah, where you turn it over, make sure that thumb turns down, and the ball flips end over end slowly and delicately to your running back.
Lutz with the extra point. And a rout is on here in this first half. So this drive spans 7 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
They defer to Brown to start the drive. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Let's get it.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Throwing, Winston. He's got White here. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First down, here's White. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. On 2nd down, they'll run with White.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Winston. He's got Evans. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
Ready. Blue 80. 51. They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this.
On 1st and 10, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7.
Well, that was an interesting little chess match there because the offense went empty set. No running backs in the backfield, so they're trying to get people out into a route pretty quickly. But guess what? The defense sees that. They go ahead and move themselves into a blitzing situation and come right after the quarterback. They had more guys there than they could block.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's White, and the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the 2nd quarter, it has been a struggle. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Winston, and that will be incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. So that'll back him up 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. And now again, the play clock's going to run out on him.
Offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still first down.
Successive penalties have them looking now at a 1st and 20.
You ain't doing nothing today.
Mendoza now off the play fake. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they finally get him down at the other 46. A big play there. 44 yards.
As we've seen over the years, offense coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover or put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Go! 15, 20. 15
It's a pickup of 3.
You got
Brings
nothing.
up 2nd and 7.
And here's Mendoza to throw on 2nd down. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 22-yard line. That catch for his career is number 731, and that's the number that Calvin Johnson ended with when he stopped his career in 2016.
Yeah, what could have been for him. So maybe now what we'll see is someone else continue to elevate their game and put this number well in his rearview mirror. I think 800, not out of line here.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Tight end right, tight end right. Hey, boys, we got 4 down. I got 15.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And an alley to run. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Here we go. Yeah.
After review of the play,
This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card. He's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
50, check my 50, and we got to get to the ball. Let's go.
2nd and 2. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
As far as tight ends go, if you get 3 or 4 touchdowns in a season, that's usually counted as a pretty good year.
And CD, he just hit double digits. That's 10 touchdowns for him now.
Yeah, and that's something you really have to applaud. That's elite level production.
Lutz will look to add the extra point.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set him back 5. Lutz to try to add the PAT. And boy, again, they won't get this off in time.
Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. That time a 6-play drive. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Jameis now on first down. And his throw here is incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. And it's second down. You got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699.
Ready? Black 25.
51 to Mike. Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Winston now to throw on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. They come up on second and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Winston. And Thomas has it. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Working out of the gun, Winston. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. It's a gain of 20 as we wind down near 20 seconds left in the quarter. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Winston. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, but it'll be second down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they got a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout, as we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll get started out in Denver, and it's the Broncos who have the lead in the second quarter. Matthew Stafford has thrown a touchdown pass. Let's stay in the AFC West and check out what's going on with the Chiefs at home in Arrowhead. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. 27-14, the final tally. Lastly, we head to the City of Angels to check on the Rams at home in L.A. And that game level as they take on the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 10, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the home side to take over on offense. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Mendoza, off play action. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Back to throw. Mendoza. And his throw is incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. He was looking for Julian Edelman that time, and it's third down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Two times.
To throw is Mendoza. Throwing on 4th down. Open man is Lastly. That's complete. And touchdown! Jordan Lastly with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
Now a carry for White, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well. That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Taken in at the 22. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to go up top for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Jordan Lastly was the intended target, but it's going to be second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Mendoza going to throw again. And that one taken in by Lastly. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Looking to throw. Mendoza. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Tanner Vallejo drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. Mendoza now throwing on 4th down. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. They come out here in the eye.
I can't believe they let you play.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
That's it, baby.
Christian McCaffrey, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the 4th down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on 4th down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and then converted a 2nd time for 6 points.
Lutz good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The drive starts with a run by White. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything, but in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball because keeping on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game, a swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Opting to run again here with White. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Winston. This is White on the screen. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Running out of the gun with White. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Ready? Black 25. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist. Twist, twist. Twist.
3rd and long for Winston. Aguilar has it. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
Here we go. A gain of 19 yards. 1st down, Raiders.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Hey, let's go. Let's calm the crowd. It's a party.
Winston now from the 50. It's complete. James White. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. To throw, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
That's just flat out a beautiful throw right there.
It was a rope. That's maybe the speed you would see on a slant, but he threw that downfield with that kind of pace.
Now, if he throws that one with any type of arc, puts a little air under it, that play doesn't happen. He had to fire it in there, and he did exactly that.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
Mike 51. Hey, here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Go.
And here's Mendoza on first down. His throw caught at about the 5. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys continue to pour it on. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. As they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has sports. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Jameis to throw it. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Ready? Black 22.
Check 56. 1, 2, 3.
First down, Winston. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. That'll bring up second down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a pass dropped off here for James White. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Jameis now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Let him go. Let him go.
Again, it's Winston. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They run the draw play. This is White. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
On 3rd down, Winston. He's got Evans. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. To throw is Winston. Forced out to his left. Now he'll pull it down, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
They come out here in the eye.
It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our
Looking to throw again on second down. Winston. And Winston lost the football. And this is picked up by the defense. He's at the 50. The 30. 20. 10. And this will be a touchdown. Oh, backbreaker. That'll drive the coach, the offensive coordinator, just crazy. You get it all the way down there in the red zone, can't capitalize. Instead, they go the other way on the fumble return for a touchdown.
How about the aggressiveness of the defense, though? They're not about to just fall on a fumble, are they? Scoop and score is their motto, and they just did it.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Hey, let's calm down. Hey, let's go. Let's calm the crowd.
On 1st and 10, Winston. And his throw's going to be incomplete. James White, the man he was looking for out of the backfield. And that'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Even. 4 down. Even.
Winston now. He completes it to Evans. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. 59's Mike. 59's Mike.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. To throw on 2nd and 10. Winston, and Thomas has it. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a 1st down as well.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
3rd down just got a lot tougher. That will officially go as a loss of 7.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Well, that 2nd down completion, something of a disaster, and now they're left with 3rd and long.
Get out the field, defense.
They'll throw again. Winston. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out toward...
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown! Jordan Lasley with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out and down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Ready. White 25. 56. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, baby. Woo! Let's go.
Jameis now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone, but sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Oakland. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And he fields it cleanly. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. So here is the home side to take over on offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards there and a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through three quarters. No reason to lighten up now.
Got it?
Here we go, 50-50. Mike 50.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
They'll run on first down. Freeman. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the fourth.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The offense on third down, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Here's McCaffrey. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space.
Let's go. 60 outlaw.
All day, baby. All day. All day. All day.
Ready, ready.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. From the 2-yard line yet again. Let's see what they can do on 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Mendoza. to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Mendoza's pass, intended for
They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row,
and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Desmond Trufant with a sack. The corner blitz hits home. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a peep of protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Winston, it's caught by Aguilar. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Now Winston.
Had an open man that time and ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Winston, and he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To the air again with Winston. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Chewing up big yardage, another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Winston now to throw on first down.
Just like that. Just like that.
Roberts got it. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. Jameis to throw it. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 31-yard line.
So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the home team here, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And now it's off to the airport for a date with Customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.